What are the best skills to have if you're playing World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore Self-Found mode? That is a mouthful. Try saying that 5 times fast. The great discussion point. I can't take credit for this because this came about as part of my discussions on starting to do this and chatting about it, and the first experiment I did with Lysander, going through and playing a Dwarven Hunter, and the concept was creating some type of a Witcher build which would allow you to have the maximum amount of survivability in this mode. Now the key here is that we are not focused on levels at all. We are focused on horizontal progression. So we're looking at the skills that surround the main class component. I have opted to go with these. We're going to talk about these really quick. Hit the wrong button. We've got cooking, we've got first aid, and we have alchemy, herbalism, to get me started. And later on, we'll be looking at probably engineering later on as something that's a potential. But these are the things that get me through the day in the early starting areas of this. So the first and foremost and most important in my mind is herbalism and alchemy, because that allows you to make healing potions. And healing potions, in my opinion, are like the most important thing you can have, are these healing potions. However, that's just the first step. If we run down the hill over here and take a look, I want to show you guys a couple of the recipes that are up and coming so you get an idea of why herbalism and alchemy is so important to this and the survival. Because of the fact that like you get all the regens and everything else. So weak troll's blood potion, regeneration, that's hugely useful. Mana potion, if you're going to be doing some sort of mana class. Rejuvenation potion, again, that's a big one for both boosts. You get a fortitude, get your health boosted by 27 for an hour, and then getting on to the next healing potions and so on and so forth. So alchemy and herbalism, I cannot stress enough that this is just a really good thing to have right out of the gate. I have used potions twice in situations where I would otherwise have lost my hardcore character. So if you've been watching the episodes as I've been playing through this Night Elf, you've seen me go through that. It's been an interesting experiment to say the least. It's the early stages, so I don't have my pet yet. And so having the healing potions has been a huge deal. And outside of that, we can start looking at cooking. So the Kaldori, spider kebabs as an example. Every starting area has got its own type. You're going to want to be on the lookout for the cooking trainer. They'll have some sort of a low-level quest for you to get your first recipe. In this case, it's a stamina and spirit boost for however many minutes it is, 15 minutes. Now the spirit I don't really particularly need, but the stamina is always useful because more hit points are always going to be for the win when it comes to these hardcore characters. Now, the cool thing about whatever recipe you choose to find in your starting area is that it's going to be something that you can find in your local area that you don't have to really look too far for, and you don't need any other store-bought ingredients for. When you get deeper into these, you're going to start finding things that might not necessarily be in your direct area. And these are just recipes that you'll learn as you get higher up. And of course, as you go around the world, you'll find more recipes to do. But I like, for example, right out of the gate when I was doing this, being able to make the Kaldori spider kebabs, because all it takes is small spider legs. And there are so many spiders throughout the forest over here. And if I want, you can go back and do the spider caves. In this particular area, again, every area is slightly unique as to what they've got. I can't remember if the dwarven area is pig meat. It might be pig meat, I think. But I remember the early stages of this was doing the eggs, and I did need money for the spices, but I was getting the owls that were surrounding us in the forest for the eggs, and the drops off of those paid for the mild spices, which allowed me to level up my cooking pretty quickly as well. So I've been working on this character. I don't know how many episodes we're up to now. 6 or 7 episodes, something like that. Level 8, I'm not deep into it so far, but these have been the skills that I have found to be incredibly useful for a low-level build to survival, and these are going to be things that will hopefully carry me on, throughout the process. I have no idea how far this is going to go or how deep I'm going to get into this character, but out of the gate, there are just too many benefits to having healing potions and foods. I think those are hugely worth your while. Obviously, first aid is a no-brainer in my mind because you can make bandages, and you should be making bandages as quickly as possible because it's another just quick get you back on your feet in the middle of combat scenarios where you don't have to waste a potion and maybe you don't want to take the time to sit down and eat. Just pop a bandage and you're good to go. That one's a little trickier because you don't start getting into mobs that are dropping linen until probably, I would argue, between 6 and 8, just depending on where you're at because it's humanoids. And so you might not get that one right out of the gate, but you can get cooking and Alchemy Herbalism right out of the gate, and you can immediately start going after things in your local environment, which provide you components for your recipes, and also harvesting as you're running around. Now, one could argue, oh, well, armor is way more important. Well, it is important, but the thing is you get armor from quests. You can also buy basic armor off of NPCs. It's not cheap, but you can. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Weapons, same thing. I'm going to get weapons from quests. I'm going to get weapons from drops. I can buy weapons off NPCs if I need to. The self-found mode in particular, you can't use the auction house and you can't trade with other players. So it's all about you. And so finding a way to be self-sufficient is mandatory. So I figured that it's better to just take things that I know I can't get through other means. Weapons and armor, I can get those elsewhere. Backpacks, I can get those off of vendors. Jesus, what was that? That scared the hell out of me. I was not ready for the Ancient Protector as he walked in by. I thought something was happening, man. It's early. I haven't had coffee. There may have been some medication involved first thing this morning, Anyway, and then later on, I think when I get to the city, I think I will go engineering, to be honest with you, just because of the utility that comes with the engineering. At least for classic, this is the classic experience. So I mean, you come in here and immediately you're surrounded by all these people who sell weapons and armor, and it's like you really don't have to worry about that, clothes and everything else. It's just what can I get that's survival skills to keep me going. The nice thing will be, assuming I can get to level 10 and get my pet with this character, the survivability goes up another notch, because then I can have the pet being in the middle of combat while I'm standing back bandaging myself, or I can be going up and bandaging my pet or using my pet heal, and then topping myself off as needed, and then feeding the pet, feeding myself. Everything about this has just been the key phrase that I keep in mind is just slow and steady, slow and steady. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you're going slow, slow, slow. Take your time. And along with the way with that is the horizontal progression of just, rather than focusing on getting more levels, it's like, well, I need more ingredients to make health potions. I need some spider legs to make more food. I need some eggs. I need this, that, or the other, and going out and farming mats and resources to basically prepare myself for the next adventure. The other day, as an example, I was getting ready to run off to the spider caves. I was like, oh, wait, hold up, wait a minute. I need food, I need arrows, I need all of these things that you don't necessarily think about in retail. So it's been a very pleasant experiment, if nothing else, and hopefully you found this quick little guide on survival skills useful for classic hardcore self-found mode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch. We play retail on the Moonguard server. If you want to come join us, there's a Discord, there's a Patreon. I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe. Links down below.